Welcome to another episode of Travel Stories with Moush. And today, finally, we're on the road with the podcast, and I am immensely excited to partner with Connections Luxury from Barcelona to be here with you to bring the podcast. And Connections, of course, is one of the top leaders in the industry as far as a trade show involving luxury products and luxury hospitality products are concerned. And on the podcast today for this episode, I have with me Sariya Al Ismaili, who is from Visit Oman. Of course, Oman is very close to where I stay, but I had to come all the way to Barcelona to have this conversation with her. And here you are. Thank you so much, Sariya, for joining us on the podcast today. And welcome to Travel Stories with Moush. I am really looking forward to talking about Oman with you. Of course, Oman is touted as the next big star in the Middle East. We know that Oman has a lot of natural beauty, and that is what it is famous for its beaches, for the waters. People go there for a lot of adventure, but there is the other side of Oman, the cultural side of Oman, that we don't really get to kind of go deeper into or experience, and it would be amazing to talk about that with you today. But firstly, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here today. I'm really excited to share a little bit of Oman with your viewers and hopefully inspire them to visit.
Absolutely. Yeah. So to begin with, now let's begin the first question of the podcast. Take us on a journey to Oman and tell us why we should go to Oman.
So Oman is very different. When you compare it to other countries in the region, we are very cultured. We preserve the culture, and we have a lot of diverse landscapes and the proximity of getting to different things. For example, you land in the capital city, Muscat, and just from Muscat, 40-minute boat ride from the middle of the city, you have access to Damaniyat Islands. Damaniyat Islands is known to be as one of the best diving spots in Oman. We have whale shark seasons.
Oh, wow.
They're huge but very friendly sea creatures. You have sea turtles, and this is always a fun activity to do. For an hour and a half away, you have Jabal Akhdar, one of the highest points in the region. It's always cooler there than other parts of the Middle East. So it is a year-round destination. And then a 2-hour drive from Muscat, you have the desert. So really, you can land in Muscat, and just less than 2-hour drives, you have all these like different landscapes, something for everyone. Like Oman is truly a year-round destination. You have the mountains where it's cooler, and then if you're in the summer down south in Salalah, the weather is really cool during the summer. We have a lot of waterfalls and greenery, and it's also the leading producer for frankincense. Like we're one of
that's really amazing. I don't think that a lot of people know about that. Now, of course, I mean, there is so much to talk about Oman. This is just a little kind of tip of the iceberg, right, for now. And it is a big country, it's a big country. And of course, Salalah is beautiful. So there is so many different spots all over the country that you have. But if you had to pick one part of Oman that you think everyone must visit once in their lifetime at least, which part would you pick?
That's a tough one. But I would say Jabal Akhdar.
Okay.
So Jabal Akhdar, it translates to the Green Mountain. And it's known for agricultural tourism.
So you would say that Jabal Akhdar is one place that one must definitely visit once in their lifetime when they visit Oman, right?
I mean, because it's aside from the agri-tourism, I mean, right now we have the rose season. In the summer, we have the pomegranate season. We have the fig season. So even a part of all this, other than experiencing how it's done in these traditional factories, you're going out in the fields and you're picking the roses, you're picking the pomegranates, you're picking the figs, and you're engaging with the locals in producing fig jam. So it's really a full-on like immersive cultural experiences, and you're talking to locals, you're talking to Omanis from the area, and it's really a lot of storytelling. So it's like when you leave Oman, you have all these memories of your interaction with the Omanis.
And that's what you want. You want to leave Oman with those memories. Now, let's move a little bit to the city, Muscat. Everyone, when they go to Oman, they actually make Muscat as their base to explore the rest of the country. Of course, possibly it's not, it's not possible perhaps to explore the entire country, but why would you think, or do you think that Oman, when you visit Oman, Muscat would be a perfect base to explore most of the experiences?
First of all, there's the connectivity, right? So Muscat being the capital of Oman, you land in there at Muscat International Airport, and there's the proximity of Muscat to all these different cities. Like I mentioned, Jabal Akhdar, it's an hour and a half away. The Maniyat, it's 40-minute boat ride. The desert, that's 2-hour drive. So even if Oman's a very safe country. It's in the top countries in the world in terms of safety. So even if you are an adventurous explorer, you could just rent a car and just go around all the drive on the coast.
That's a huge positive to be this safe in one of the safest countries in the world. It's such a big positive, especially in the times we live in.
And then with Muscat, you have obviously the main landmarks. We have the Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque. That's a piece of art on its own, and they open it up to visitors as well. There's like certain timings where you can visit, and it's a beautiful experience. You have a lot of forts, Matrah Fort, you have the different forts that are opened up for the visitors, and you get panoramic cities views of the Corniche, the sea, and it's quite beautiful. You have the souk, which is Omani word for the traditional markets. And that's where even just walking around the souk, you have the silver, the gold, the frankincense. That on its own is an experience. So in terms of Muscat, definitely it has to be where you land and explore, and then you go into these other areas.
It's a good place to begin your journey into Oman. That's fantastic. On that point, we're going to take a short break and come back right here to ask you more questions about Oman.
Thank you.
This episode is brought to you in collaboration with Connections Luxury. So welcome back, and here we are. Sorry, I'm just imagining the kind of places that I haven't visited, know, in Oman. There is so much, like I feel like, and also you're talking with so much passion when you're talking about Oman. So it really shows the beauty that there is and yet to be explored. Now let's also talk about a star in Oman. If there is so much, it's a plethora of things that you can do in Oman. But if you had to pick one star, for this particular year, for 2025, which is that one star in your country that is going to shine in this year?
As a location, I would say Nizwa. Like, yes, Nizwa, it's a stop for a lot of people when they go up to Jabal Akhdar. There's a lot more heritage homes there. So it's an experience on its own. Like one of the things you can experience in Nizwa is like every Friday they have an auction, a livestock auction. You go there from 6 a.m. until like 9-10 a.m. and you see the Omanis auctioning and doing business, and it's all out in the open, and that's an experience on its own. And then you go to the fort and you have these older women doing a live show of Omani bread called the Rakhal, and you get to experience it. And you have the Omani halwa. Like, there's just a lot happening. A lot of Omani restaurants, local restaurants, to experience the local cuisine. And the really nice thing about Nizwa, from the moment you enter, it's you really get to see the culture, because it's like almost a couple of hours away from Muscat, and you can get to immerse yourself in that culture. Whether it's like the local souk, and it's like Omanis selling, different things, and you get to talk to the older women, and you hear stories from them about, the bread making and the halwa and the dessert. And it all comes together with these walks between the villages. And now we even have these e-scooters that you can go around this traditional super cultured area, and which is sustainable. We have these like carts that can take you around. So it really preserved the culture, but then at the same time, they're looking at other ways to kind of like uplifting the area, and then it all comes together with the heritage homes and the local restaurants.
Amazing. So Nizwa is that one place you think is going to be a star this year. Well, that's fantastic. And when you were just talking about it, I really actually went on a visual journey because you described it so well. Now, from the star, let's talk about an underrated I won't say destination, an underrated area in Oman that doesn't it deserves the attention but doesn't get it always, because again, we're always talking about the sea and the sun and the sand and all of it, but is there one particular area in Oman that you think is underrated and deserves more attention in the travel world?
I think the whole of Oman deserves more attention to the travel world. Like every part of Oman has a story. Like if we go down south to Salalah, that's a whole story on its own, in terms of like every region in Oman, every governorate has its own culture, has its own food, and sometimes the dialects even change, and the food influence from other region changes. So it's hard to kind of like pinpoint it to one location. Where I think Oman should be on everyone's list. It's the diversity and the authenticity in terms of the cultural experience, the culinary, and it's very peaceful, it's extremely safe. So yeah, I think...
So you really think all of Oman is underrated? I actually agree with you, because, Oman is... The entire country is like a hidden gem, or and also I love the fact that Oman has always preserved its culture and its tradition. So even when you're going to Oman, you always get that community building, and that you get to experience living in a community, which we don't get to. We are going far away from all this in today's world, and Oman is preserving that, which is incredible. You know. Now again, something very exciting and something I know you will love to talk about is a culinary journey into Oman. You just spoke a little bit about the food in Oman and how incredible it is. Okay, so let's, I know it's so rich and so, the flavors are so kind of delectable and so different. Take us on a culinary journey into Oman, and what is it that we should eat, and the spices and the different flavors. Talk to us about that.
So Oman, our food has a lot of different spices, a lot of flavors, because there's a lot of influence from other regions, from the trade routes, like back in the day.
But what are the foods that are, that one should always experience when they're in Oman, or something that you don't get in other parts of the world?
So when you're having the Omani coffee, it's usually coupled with Omani halwa.
Okay.
And Omani halwa, it's a sweet, it's a delicacy. It's usually cooked in a big, pot, and it's best to eat when it's really hot. And the coffee and the halwa, they use a lot of spices. The halwa is usually for special occasions, so similar to the Omani shua.
So what is it?
So what is Omani shua? Omani shua is basically meat that's seasoned with all these different spices and tamarind and all the different spices that Omanis use in their day-to-day cooking, and it's wrapped with banana leaves. So you wrap it nicely with banana leaves, and then with foil, and then that's all put inside like palm leaves, and it's cooked underground in this huge pit, and it's usually a community experience. So the second day of Eid, everyone goes to their hometowns, and the whole community comes together, and there's a huge pit, and everyone has their Omani shua, and they have to kind of like mark it with something that they would recognize, because it's a big pit that everyone just like puts the shua inside, and it's cooked underground for 24 to 48 hours.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So the meat will be really tender. So this is very unique to Oman.
It's very local. Okay. It's a Omani
So I think one should just go to Oman only for culinary journey for one trip, because there is so much to experience, right? I mean, it's never ending.
And then it's a community thing. Like with the Omani shua, it's not just you and your family, it's you and the whole neighborhood. You're participating in this, and from children to older, and then that's served with rice the next day, and it's very tender, and then they start giving it out to other people. So it's really something that really brings the community together. Amazing. And we offer that to our visitors as one of the experiences to take part in. Obviously, it's cooked ahead of time, but as part of the experience, you're with the family in the villages, and they show you how it's done, and you're part of the process where you're doing everything, but then they will present you with one that was cooked.
That's an incredible experience. Okay, that's a beautiful culinary journey into Oman, and like I said, you need one trip only for only to experience food in Oman. Let's quickly talk a little bit about sustainability, because I know Oman really takes care about about sustainable tourism. You try to do as much as you can. There are traditional homes and heritage homes that you're promoting. So tell us about this whole sustainable tourism that Oman is doing and what people should look forward to.
Over 80% of our local tourism providers are SMEs. Last year alone, we've had there's over 150 licensed heritage homes.
Oh, wow.
And these are purely traditional, run by Omanis. From the moment you enter, it's like you've stepped back in time.
Again, experiential journey.
And even like, let's say when you have a drink like water or coffee at these heritage homes, they're not served in plastic. They're served in local pottery kind of jars, so that even like those little experiences that you have within the heritage home, it's all thought out in terms of sustainability. One really good example is the hanging terraces, and this is
that's interesting.
It's a house that was abandoned for 40 years almost, and the family came together and they turned that into a heritage house, and it's on the top in Jabal Akhdar, so it's a year-round destination.
Wow.
So any time of the year, it's always cooler up there, and they even have an irrigation system where the water goes back into the plants, and they've managed to kind of like plant on the mountains. It became all green, and that's where the name, the hanging terraces, came out. And in Arabic, it's called like al-mudarrajat al-mu'allaqa. It's quite an experience on its own. Like
stunning.
Even
sounds stunning.
The food, when it comes to the food are cooked by local Omani families. So everything about
So this is very sustainable, yet it's such an experiential journey, and you're also promoting the community. I think that's incredible, I mean, that's something to really look forward to. Now, you've spoken about so many different experiences and, really amazing places, but I still want to know, what is that one hidden gem in Oman?
What's the one hidden gem?
Give it away today. Let's talk about it.
One hidden gem in Oman. Okay. Bar al-Hikman.
Okay.
So Bar al-Hikman, it's described as the Maldives of the Middle East.
No way.
So I don't know how to describe it. I will have to show you photos and videos, and once you see it, you'll know exactly what I mean.
Okay, Bar al-Hikman is that one place that everyone must go because it is a hidden gem. And when you say it's the Maldives of the Middle East, that's saying a lot.
There aren't any resorts over there, so it's for really the adventurous traveler who really wants some serenity and quiet and just
adventure.
Enjoy like really clear waters,
live with the nature,
and it's an experience of its own. If you haven't done it, you have to do it. And
give us the name again.
Bar al-Hikman.
Bar al-Hikman. Okay, that's fascinating. Now, we've spoken a lot about so many amazing places. You've told us about Bar al-Hikman, the experiential journeys, about sustainability. I mean, I just want to take the next flight back and go to Oman. But now, as the final question of the podcast, tell me, if someone needs to tick off a bucket list experience, coming to Oman, what is that one bucket list experience that one should definitely go to Oman for?
Oman's actually known for outdoor activities, whether it's kite surfing or diving or it's hiking. We have a lot of great hiking spots in Oman. But I guess the one really interesting experience is the Via Ferrata hiking experience, where you're in the mountains up in Jabal Akhdar, and you're going around, like you're kind of like hanging from the mountains, and it's not for the
faint-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted.
If you're looking for
adrenaline junkie, basically.
So it's an experience, and we recommend you do it with. We have a lot of licensed, excellent tour guides, whether from the local area or other areas. But that's an experience of
one bucket list adventure.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing something that's thrilling, and the views around just beautiful. So that's I think everyone who's into adventure and outdoors should definitely do it. Another experience that also is not as common. We actually have forests in Oman.
Oh.
So down south in Salalah, they are forests, and we provide these experiences through our local partners, where they take you on a journey, a hiking journey. They offer, whether it's like an all-women trip or a mixed group trip or a private trip, and you basically get to spend a day with the locals of the area.
Oh wow!
Whether it's through singing and eating and drinking coffee, and they kind of like show you their way of life and living, and they even have a different language and different dialects. So that's like, even within Oman there's a lot of cultures
and variety. Yeah.
So it's like, for me, I still have things that I need to tick off
I'm sure,
my bucket list.
Yeah,
and I'm
because it's like a Pandora box. You're just taking out
it's
things
like,
from where do you start and what all. But that was an incredible journey into Oman, and it was such an immersive experience. And like you said, I think you're so right when you said that all of Oman deserves so much more attention in the travel world today, because there is so much that need to be addressed and experienced over there. And then you have so much on the offing. There's so much on the offing over there. There's so much. There's a plethora of experiences, and I'm so amazed to know this whole the experiences with the locals, the community building. That is what travel should be about. So thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today here at Connections Luxury. And I really wish that Oman becomes the star of the Middle East sooner than later, because it does deserve more attention in the travel world.
I hope to see you in Oman once we're
for
back.
Sure. We will have that discussion outside. Thank you so much, Sariya, for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. I hope our conversations have fueled your wanderlust and inspired you to explore the world in new and exciting ways. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until the next time, stay safe and travel safe.